Hey guys, Ivan here, and in today's video we got a couple of really interesting bodybuilding topics. The first thing we got is something I've seen a lot on social media, and that's the question of whether Regan Grimes made any progress or none whatsoever. And if you guys watch my previous videos about the New York Pro, you know my opinion about Regan Grimes. I did say he is the best he ever was, but my opinion was basically just my overall impression. I didn't really do my research, I didn't compare him to his previous versions, and that is exactly what we're gonna do in this video. So like I said, Regan Grimes did seem better to me. His conditioning was very good. It could be better, but it was very good. And that was probably more than I expected, because throughout this entire prep, I thought he was going to be completely off at this show, if he even does the show. And he even thought about pulling out, but he did it anyways. And, you know, he looked good. He got that fourth spot. It was close for third, actually. And that is his first show after him being off the stage for a while. Stefan Kinzel was asked this question on Fuad's podcast. Fuad asked him why did Regan want to pull out and how is it that he actually ended up doing the show. And basically what Stefan said is that he was unsure about his physique because it's his comeback basically, and he didn't feel like he was ready. But Stefan was like, you gotta start somewhere. And Stefan wasn't also super happy with the look, but they tried their best, and Stefan was happy that Regan brought this look without really suffering too much. And you guys heard Regan talking about this as well. He said he wasn't doing any cardio until like maybe a couple of 5 weeks out, I think, and it was very low cardio. So it's not like he was suffering. He basically got in this shape relatively easily. And before we actually take a closer look at what progress Regan made or didn't make, we got this post that Regan posted. It's him with Nick Walker, both of them hitting the most muscular pose. And, you know, Regan is congratulating Nick and saying that this is the craziest, most muscular of the day, blah, blah, blah. And then Nick Walker replies in the comments. You guys might remember that at one point Nick was kind of criticizing Regan, calling him out for being lazy, for being an Instagram bodybuilder, for just posting photos online and not really working too hard on becoming the best bodybuilder he can become. And here we actually have some positive comments from Nick. So Nick says, truly appreciate this, bro. I'm super proud of you and the improvements you made, bro. We'll get that Mr. Olympic qualification this year. Just stay focused. Keep that tunnel vision, like I know you have been doing, and crush your next show, bro, your time. So now Nick is saying basically that he knows that Regan was actually in that tunnel vision mode, that he actually did work hard. Does Nick really believe that? I don't think so. I don't think any of these guys are working as hard as Nick Walker. I don't think any of them have that crazy tunnel vision like Nick. I mean, at this show, at a Mr. Olympia, there are some guys who are as crazy as Nick, like Samson, Hardy, Derek, of course. So Regan is not exactly known as the hardest working bodybuilder, and he probably could have made more progress in these past 2 years he took off if he worked harder. However, it looks like he still made some progress, but let's take a look at how much exactly. So here is a comparison of Regan Grimes from his 2023 Mr. Olympia, where he took that top 10, actually 9th spot, and this was his best conditioning we saw from him up to that moment. You could argue that he overall looked better at a show he won to qualify for the Mr. Olympia. It was either Spain Pro, I think it was Spain Pro, Italy, he was second to Nathan Diasha, and at both of those shows he was definitely bigger and fuller, but his conditioning was not very good. Here, his conditioning got better, he sacrificed some size for that, but this was decent conditioning. And now, if you compare this to the New York Pro, he was not only bigger, but he was more conditioned for sure. I mean, look at the legs. Look at the separation in the legs. I don't think I've ever seen Regan's legs look this shredded and have this kind of fullness and width with this kind of condition. So I think his legs improved for sure. And then also the arms. The bicep peaks were just bigger. They were just taller. He definitely made improvements in his arms, and I would say he was definitely wider to the shoulders. Like his lats were bigger, his waist looked smaller because of the improvements in the legs and in the lats, and his X frame was simply better. He was bigger and more conditioned, so in the front double I think it's very clear that Regan was better this year. What about from the back? I think it's the same story. I think he was more conditioned, especially in the lower body, hamstrings and glutes, and I think the back also had more details and it was bigger, wider. He could probably open up a little bit more to create even more width, but even like this, with all the details and the density and the overall size and the X-frame, I think he looked pretty good in that back double and better than in 2023. Side chest, same story. I think he also learned how to pose better to make his arms look bigger and his chest wider. He opened up a little bit more, but you can still see the improvements, the details in the chest, the size in the arms, shoulders, chest. He definitely did get bigger. In this pose, the legs don't look significantly bigger, but you saw them from the front. They're definitely more conditioned and I would say wider and fuller. So overall, I feel like Regan definitely did make progress, and with this amount of progress, I think he's still going to be able to qualify for the Mr. Olympia by winning a pro show, and I think he's still going to be potentially in that top 10, but this guy has the potential to be in that top 5, top 4, I don't know, to win the Mr. Olympia even, but he needed to put on more muscle than this. And maybe he's gonna do it next year, maybe in a couple of years, if he actually decides to work even harder. I mean, the progress definitely did happen, but, he was training, he was eating, he was taking gear, and, progress will happen. But for a guy with this kind of potential, it's kind of sad to see him not really fulfill it completely before his career is over. Is that gonna happen? Is he gonna get that tunnel vision and actually put on like 20, 30 pounds of muscle on his frame? I don't know what his weight was here, but I don't think it was much, much heavier. He just looked more polished, more detailed, a little bit bigger in some areas. But again, if he wants to be competitive against the top 4 guys, he needs to put on a lot more muscle. Did the progress happen? Yes. Is this his best conditioning of his life, New York Pro? Yes, it is. Can it get better for the next show? Maybe. Can he improve the fullness? Probably. Can he grow more and actually become, a top 5 bodybuilder in the world? Yes, but it's going to require some sacrifice and a couple of years of really hard work. Is Regan willing to do that? Probably not, but you guys tell me what do you think about his progress this year. Alright, the next thing we got is something really, really interesting to see, I gotta say. We got the winners of 2 classes at a New York Pro, the Classic Physique division winner, Ruff Diesel, Terence Ruffin, and also the Open winner, Nick Walker. So, it's always fun to see these 2 classes compared because sometimes we think Classic Physique guys are just as big as the Open guys, and sometimes we think some Open guys are, small enough to do Classic even, but as you can see right here, the difference between these 2 bodybuilders in terms of size is freaking huge. Nick Walker completely dwarfs Terence Ruffin. Now, if we had Jose Manuel here instead of Ruff Diesel, especially in the side chest, it would look a lot different because Jose Manuel has the height, so he's overall a bigger man. But hey, Jose Manuel didn't win the New York Pro, Ruff Diesel did. And Ruff Diesel, even though he has crazy genetics in terms of shape, he's not exactly the biggest Classic Physique guy. And Nick Walker, even though he's short, he's probably the biggest guy, pound for pound. Not probably, he is the biggest guy pound for pound. I mean, who is bigger? Hadi and Derek, former 212 bodybuilders? No, absolutely not. Samson Dauda, I mean, Samson is massive, but he's also very tall. Pound for pound, Nick is the heaviest, the biggest bodybuilder in the world right now, and Terence, definitely not one of the bigger guys in Classic, but still with his shape, he can sometimes create the illusion of having a lot of size, but here, when you put him next to Nick Walker, yeah, the difference is just too noticeable. I mean, you compare the arms, the shoulders, the legs, the chest, everything. Yeah, it's a huge difference for sure. And then we got the most muscular, one hand on hip. This is definitely not a classic pose. I mean, Classic Physique guys don't even have a most muscular pose. So this was probably not fair, to Terence to do this pose. If they did, for example, front double, that would be more comparable, but most muscular, especially this variation, yeah, man, this is just looking crazy. Huge difference. But one thing also that you might be noticing is the difference in the midsection, and I'm sure most of you guys would pick Terence's physique because of that one thing. I mean, yeah, Nick is really freaky, but with that midsection, yeah, it doesn't look very nice. It's a little bit different in the hands clasped, most muscular, and Terence also looks better in this one. But yeah, Nick is definitely dwarfing him. If it was, for example, Mike Sommerfeld instead of Rav Diesel right here, I think the difference would be much smaller because Mike is a monster for classic physique. He is probably the biggest guy in classic physique. And you guys might remember Chris Bumstead versus Big Ramy for the shoot after the Mr. Olympia. I mean, that wasn't that big of a difference because Chris is also pretty big. I mean, yeah, of course, Big Ramy is much bigger, but, you know, with Chris's height and everything, it didn't look like this. But Rav Diesel is even shorter than Nick Walker. I mean, Nick is wearing shoes here, but still, it seems like he is taller. So, yeah, Nick definitely dwarfed Rav Diesel completely. This does not mean absolutely anything. This is just a fun comparison. I thought I made a video about it because I thought you guys might find it interesting. So, you tell me down below, what do you think about this comparison? Alright, and the final thing we got is the former Miss Olympia, I think 8-time Mr. Olympia in bodybuilding, in female bodybuilding, Linda Murray is complaining about the prize money increase at the Arnold Classic because women are not getting enough of the prize money increase. So what she says here is, what an announcement. You're sick and tired of waiting around. I'm sick and tired of waiting. In 2025, there were only 3 women's divisions at the Arnold Classic, with 18 women total receiving prize money. 18 women split $108,000, while your third place open men's winner received $100,000 alone. The 18 women have 3.2 million followers combined. Your third place open winner has 850,000 followers on IG. So she's talking about Andrew Jack, who placed third at the Arnold Classic, and 18 women who got basically less money, actually a little bit more money than Andrew Jack alone. And I think I remember the same thing last year when they increased the prize money for the Arnold Classic up to $500,000, and now the same thing is happening. What do I think about it? Well, I think it's totally okay to complain about this. We see a lot of complaints from the other categories, from women and also from men's physique guys. And, you know, in the end, it's Arnold's show. He can give out as much money as he wants to whomever he wants. It's all about who puts people in the seats. You know, what makes money, and they don't really care about diversity too much, apparently. At a Mr. Olympia, it's a bit of a different story. You guys know that Jake Wood really respects female bodybuilding. He was promoting the Wings of Strength before he bought the Mr. Olympia, so, you know, he definitely does give out more money to women than Arnold does. Arnold has only 3 women categories, but Arnold also spoke about how he wants Arnold Classic to be like a 2-3 hour show. He doesn't want a bunch of categories that nobody really cares about. I mean, those female divisions, let's be honest, they don't have a lot of fans. You know, it's mainly family and friends of the competitors, and that's about it. And of course, open division is the reason why the show gets probably like 80% of the tickets sold. And I think Classic Physique is in that second, but it's not even a close second. I think open bodybuilding is far ahead. In the end, this is a business, and if they increase the prize money for the open guys, more really good open guys are going to do the show, and that's going to get more views, more traction, more people are going to buy the tickets. So, you know, that's the way they're trying to actually increase the popularity of Arnold Classic and earn more money. So, of course, they're doing what they need to do, but it's completely okay for the other divisions who don't get the increase in prize money to complain. Maybe they're going to accomplish something by this, maybe not, but it is what it is. You guys can tell me down below in the comment section, what do you think about this? Do you think female divisions should be paid more? Do you watch female divisions? Are you interested in them? Do you want to see more classes in the show and more prize money for those classes? Whatever you guys think, tell me down below. Also, tell me what you think about the difference in Classic Physique and the Open, and also, did Regan Grimes actually make progress, and what do you think is his full potential? Whatever you guys think, tell me down below in the comment section of this video. Once again, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. For more content like this, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon. All the best, and bye-bye.